I'm Rasnades, I'm from Brumdus like Triller Jermaine. You might know my face on the music game, but right now I've jumped in a podcast game. Keeping it real, that's the aim. With no rumours, no hearsay, just real life guests. Vibes in the way, and all of the hot topics in the U. This is the reasoning. Come have a reason, this is the reasoning. Let's have a reason, this is the reasoning. Come have a reason, this is the reasoning. Let's have a
Greetings, people. Them right now, you're locked into the Reasoning Podcast. I'm your host, Rasnado. Today we got a special guest, special, very, very, very special guest in here today. He's a pioneer still for Birmingham, not just for Birmingham. He's raw international. He's been worldwide with it still. You get me? I don't think he probably gets enough recognition as he should, but I think it's because you wouldn't know because it's a lot of background work he does. You get me? So a lot of people know him, especially in Birmingham, and know his face. But you probably wouldn't know how much of a critical role he plays within the infrastructure, in the music, in Birmingham. You get me? So today, my guest is RTKAL.
Blessed love, manners and respect.
Yeah.
Father near the Rasnado.
Alright then, you see me? Mm-hmm. So boom, you see my thing now. I like to start off mine like the cliche way. I know I say it all the time, but it is the cliche way, you get me? So I like to start off with like your heritage and that, you get me? Your background.
My heritage.
Like your background, like where your family from.
That's a mad one, so we can go.
Yeah.
It's deep in it when we have to ask them question there, because it's like how far back do we trace these things back? So
you know what I mean?
No, but I'm saying no, it's reality because all these things come into play and a reality into the identity of self, into how deep you could trace yourself. You understand?
That's true.
Some people you ask them what their identity is and they're gonna tell you so that it's whatever ends they're from, you get me, or whatever country they're born in that. But my grandmother was a Windrush generation, original. She came here in the 1960s. Mm-hmm. It was actually her birthday this weekend, funnily enough. Mm-hmm. Miss Lou, people did call her Miss Lou. She came from Westmoreland.
Okay.
Right, St. Elizabeth. Yeah, man. Yeah. My grandma, people that do know, my grandma was a big figure back in the day still. She was like grandma to everybody, you get me, in the community.
Okay.
Growing up back in the day, so enough people a lot of the people that remember me, as little Josh, as a little you, is through my grandma. Okay. My grandma was the house where everybody went to, whether we was blood or not, or whichever way it is like that. It's one of them settings like that. So me grow up, you know what I mean? And enough people can relate to that.
Yeah, I can still.
You see me? So yeah, man, as a St. Elizabeth matriarch, she came here, you see me, as a warrior and set up her thing. And there were some of the originals. My grandma used to have and my granddad as well. I can't forget my grandfather as well, who came from the same area. My grandmother came first, and then same for my grandfather on my dad's side. The two of them come from Westmoreland. Yeah. My grandfather, he had one leg. The man came with one leg. He was a bandit still. He had one leg. Let me tell you, my granddad, I don't know if I should, the first time I ever said this, my granddad came over here as a hustler. He had gambling houses. They used to run a calf up by the Blues ground. Back in the day, them times, they used to have pubs. They started in Leeds and then made their way down to Birmingham as two people just trying to get it kind of thing. But he came here with one leg, and he finessed the system as saying he was a war veteran, but he never fight no war.
Oh,
you get me?
Yes.
So I saw him set his face and did his thing, you get me? And he was like, for me, a lot of the energy that I have, especially in this city, my family always say, it resonates definitely around that energy of what they was moving with and doing them times, you get me? They were really trying to do stuff, you get me?
Trying to make it happen.
Yeah, trying to make it happen, you get me? They were hustlers and making it happen. And then on my mum's side,
so that's your father's side,
That's my dad's side, that's my dad's side. And then on my mum's side, my mum's from Barbados, a little area called Chalky Mount, right at the top of Barbados.
Okay.
My grandfather came here, his name was Salwin Brewster. He was actually a weightlifter. He did a lot of work in weightlifting. He won his awards and did his thing. I'm not too read up on it. I did learn a lot about it when I was younger and stuff like that. But he made his name as a weightlifter over here, actually. So it's funny, my granddad was wham to the day he died. One of them original, cane cutting, man. You get me? I work farm, man.
Proper.
I used to go there and check him in Barbados, and the man have 4 or 5 bull on the land and X amount of goat and chicken and sugar cane I grow in the yard and proper RTKAL vibes. He was an original, do you know what I mean? I never really got, and I didn't get to know my mum's mum. She died when my mum was a kid.
Okay.
So I never got to meet her. She died before when they first came from Barbados. My granddad came over here, did his thing, moved back to Barbados, bought his land, built himself up over there, and he's one of the people that managed to come here and then go home, do his thing, and then make it back. And you know what I mean, he passed away in Barbados in like 2012.
Okay, so basically, your heritage is Jamaican and Asian.
Yeah, man.
Obviously we know, so we can get deeper and go back into Africa and the proper thing, but I know what you mean, the face of it, and
100%.
The first people to land Yassel, and that's where it starts. That journey, it's them people, and
then genetically, my grandmother on my father's side, she was black, Chinese, and Syrian.
Okay.
My grandfather, I never really knew much about him, to be fair.
Yeah.
But he was a dark-skinned African set man. You understand what I'm saying? And my grandmother was a Chinese. In fact, they were a young family. That was a Chinese side over there. You get me? So we have family over there who are directly still Chinese looking, and you see me? So mixed heritage. You get me? Different things.
All right then. So obviously, you grew up in the city of Birmingham, innit? Just grew up in Birmingham, born and bred.
Born in Birmingham, born in Queen Elizabeth Hospital.
Yeah?
You get me? Yeah, Birmingham.
And what area did you grow up in?
Quinton.
Okay.
Quinton, yeah, I'm from Quinton.
B32.
B32.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that was my original place.
Okay.
Yeah. It's funny, I lived right by 4Ds.
Yeah, Ford Dwelling School.
Yeah, I lived next to 4Ds. 4 acres, the area was called where I used to live. That was like, and it's funny, my mum was just like, you're not going 40s. She said, like, there's no way you're going 40s. And I remember she like...
You know what it is though? Sorry to cut you.
Yeah.
You see, 4 dwellings, what the problem was Quinton at the time was a good area. Well, let's say it's a good area, but it still had its badness.
It was a white area.
White area, but with white badness though. So it had white badness, so it's not the black man badness.
No.
But what happened with that school, them schools there, is bare man from the end started to go to them, because even I went to a school up that way. Obviously not like Lordwood. Obviously it's Harborne Bear when I went to Harborne Hill. But them schools there, really and truly, them schools were made for white boy and that, you get me, and rich people in the beginning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
I know the history of the place is deep. Like, it's so bang on. It's like, obviously Quinton was where I was born. That was my first house. And like growing up around there, you hit the nail bang on the head. Quinton was like, it was a ghetto, and it was a white boy ghetto, but it weren't a ghetto like that. The people had money in it. They weren't cruff, like to say they were broke like that, like them not work or nothing, but they were hustlers. Everybody had money, and everybody's dad was somebody, and his dad's this man, and his dad's that man, and I am the son of someone. So it was a big family thing around there. Everybody had these
surnames.
You get me? It's all about surnames around there. You get me? And that was like me growing up around there and seeing that, and then like within that, it still had the same dynamics of a ghetto. Like, I grew up between Handsworth and Quinton. Yeah. Like, my grandma's house was in Handsworth, Hollycroft Road. Yeah. Like, so I'd spend half my time in Handsworth and I'd spend half my time in Quinton. So I had this hard contrast of two different kind of. The two of them weren't like ghetto, but it was two completely different. It was two completely different structures and mannerism and science. Them time it was just totally different, but the two of them are ghetto, you see me? And I remember the time of it. I remember the time of us moving there as a black family and being one of the only black families there. And then over the years, seeing much more black families move into the area. And to be fair, Quinton as an area, it's never been like a racist area or nothing like that. They've always been quite accepting of black families, multicultural families. Like, it's never really felt racist like that. You understand? But at the same time, get a dog, you get me? Like, bro, like, things going around there, someone.
So how was it for you growing up?
Growing up?
Yeah.
Growing up, I had a good childhood, man. Tell you the truth, I had an interesting childhood. I had a very, very interesting childhood. My mum's a nurse. My dad's an ex-soldier, turned to truck driver, do his thing as a truck driver, but then on top of that, he's a sound man. So as a sound man, I grew up in a very musical house.
Okay, makes sense now.
Yeah, man, like my dad's absolute sound clash fanatic still to this day. He's still an integral part of it. We still go to clashes together. We still cut dubs. He does everything. Like, there's lots of things that he does in there, but he does it as an advocate for it. This is a lover of the culture. He's never really took it as like, but yeah, man, he's a real musical guru. And the people that know my dad, Chris Clash, shouts out to Chris Clash, you get me? Enough people know my dad, you get me, within that circuit there like that, you know what I mean? And so he really just like raised me in a musical house like that, and as young as I can remember, anytime. Kind of like with my son now, I have a son, you get me? But any memory that I have with my dad as a youth, it was something musical, was going carnival, or he's doing something around, or music dead, we are by tape.
I got an uncle like that.
You understand? Or we're sitting down in the wit, like it was always musical, and because of that, like Saxon and Stone Love and Bass Odyssey and King of this and them things, that's like the theme music of my childhood. Okay, I never really understood it. You get me?
So that moves on to my next question, Carl. I was going to ask you, what kind of music influenced you growing up?
Dancehall, reggae music, R&B, rare groove, drum and bass, hip hop, rap. Like, again, because it was a sound system thing, it wasn't genre specific. Anybody know about sound system? Like, you listen to a good Stone Love sound tape.
All kinds of rhythms are running.
But Stone Love's gonna start with Celine Dion. Right, you know the right thing, you get me? And it's gonna go right through the motions, you get me? It's gonna end up in the boof baff at the end and all that stuff, but it's gonna be everything in the rare grooves, and you're gonna hear look at Al Green in there, you're gonna hear look, and because of that, my like perspective of my palette for music
is wide,
was
like
eclectic.
Mine.
Wide, bro. You get me? There's good music. You understand? Like
mine's is massive.
Yeah. And I weren't allowed. It's like we weren't allowed to like rubbish music.
Yeah.
If I played rubbish music in, like it's not like my dad weren't listening. You get me? He's listening to it, and he'd be critical of music in that sense and playing what was up to date. Like he was buying Eminem's first album and them thing there and Ice Cube, Cop Killer and them. I was finding them CDs and them thing there. Fam, like. The amount of stuff that I was influenced by musically as a youth, man, like...
Yeah, different things.
Yeah, but... Yeah, dog.
So, like, education-wise, how was you? In school and stuff?
In school, I wasn't a natural academic. I was never a natural academic.
Yeah.
So, I grew up interested in that sense, in a sense, with my school career or my school experience, because...
Yeah.
My earliest memories was going to the NEC with my mum. Remember the fashion show that used to happen at the NEC, the big one? And I went there with my mum. This is me as like a 6-year-old. It's one of my earliest memories. And getting scouted at this fashion show thing. You get me?
Okay, what, for modelling?
For modelling.
Kid modelling.
Kid modelling. Excuse me. And that was even this is reception. This is like my first years of school.
Yeah.
And through getting scouted through that, I was really into it. I was very susceptible to show. I liked it. I was always a manageable kid. You understand? Like, I don't know, like that's always been me. I see it in my son now. Like we understand things. We're not. You understand? We never did. I wasn't a wild kid like that. I was mischievous in the sense of like my brain. I'd work my brain, but I was never.
You have sense.
Me have sense. You understand? And my grandmother and the way I was raised, like really enforced like
morals intact.
Yeah, understanding instruction and principle and just being around. I was an only child then as well, so I spent a lot of my time around adults. So it's like adult reasoning you're hearing and adult vibes. So I took to the modelling thing really easily at a young age, and because of that, it kind of took off really young.
Yeah.
So my youngest memories, like where I was meant to be at school, a lot of that is on the road doing modelling shows.
Okay, so it got big like that.
Yeah. I've got. It was kind of deep at one point. Yeah. There was really like really into it. I had like a really long CV of it. Like, what are they called? Something One, the agency back then. Number One, they were called. I don't know if they still exist. You get me? Imagine if someone hears that from that. Number One, they were called. But they Yeah, I was working really, really frequently, and I was enjoying it, and I was flourishing it.
So
and,
what happened?
My grandma passed away. It was my grandma who was both my parents are working. They're both full-time workers. They've always been 5 to 6 days a week, hustlers, grafters, not even hustlers, grafters. Do you know what I mean? Go to work and, you know what I mean, keep it straight down the line, you know what I mean, kind of people. And like I was never short of anything, but it's because my parents were hard, isn't it? Like, I've never seen them take a day off, really, do you know what I mean? And so because of that, the only person that was able to really facilitate that for me as a kid was my grandmother, because she never had nothing. She's a pensioner.
My brother,
and
I
she had one.
same.
You understand? And I was my grandma's baby, bro. You understand?
Difference,
my dad was the only child. I was his one boy. You know what I mean? For when I was born, I was with my grandmother, and
it's like me.
Again, it's that Jamaican real, that grandma's house feeding. You used to go church. You used to have to say your prayers before bed. You used to have to learn certain things. That regimented kind of love. It was love, but it was regimented, and it had a purpose, and it had a. Do you know what I mean? But she was the person that was able to like take me around and really introduce me into that world and facilitate that. So a lot of my childhood was doing a lot of that.
So when she passed away, that's when it kind of
it became a lot harder to do.
And they're working, so
work
kind of, and eventually it's kind of just
100%.
I know what you're saying.
So, do you know what I mean?
Same thing happened with me with football, kind of thing.
Yeah. But that was my first, for me personally, when it comes to like music,
showbiz, man, showbiz.
That was like, I feel like I haven't not worked a day in my life, bro, when it comes to like showbiz, cause that was my first taste of it. And I think from that and from the experience of being able to, and from that also taught me the value of a pound straight away. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? So I already had this feeling like, I know what I want to do. I know where I want to go. I feel like, and they did treat you good as well. I mean, the daytime, they give you like free clothes and...
Yeah, man.
Gary, I go buy you McDonald's and
everything
nice.
You
get me the thing nice, you see me? So, from them time there, anyone that knows me knows my head was like set from then. Like, so school, so based on the question what you asked me, school was very hard for me because I was exposed to a lot from a very young age.
You already knew, that there's already a different path you can go down, but don't involve this. Yeah, I get you, man. I get it from early.
Even though I was an intellectual, I just wasn't that academic.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, man. Yeah, man. So, when did you first get into music then? Yourself? Obviously, we know you loved it with you, so you grew up around sound. And when did you first start taking an interest in music? Where you say, I want to pick up the mic or whatever.
My first interest.
Yeah, or when you first start to get into it, where you say, I'm gonna.
All right, my first record deal that I signed was at 12 years old to a guy called Robert Plant from Led Zeppelin.
I know about Led Zeppelin, but I know
So Led Zeppelin is the big band.
Yeah, the band, but I don't know the name Robert Plant. You get me?
Big up Robert Plant. I don't know, I bumped into Robert Plant not long ago actually.
Yeah.
But big up Robert Plant. When I was about 12 years old, Robert Plant used to have a record label called MAS Records.
Yeah.
And he was this guy from Led Zeppelin. I didn't really know about Led Zeppelin. Yeah. Like I said, I listened to eclectic music, but I was very stuck in black music, to be honest. You get me? I hadn't really reached rock music and stuff like that yet, but I knew this guy was a big deal. Yeah. And I knew that this was going on. So this is my first 6 to 7 weeks of secondary school. This is when we reached year 7. Yeah. I'd met 2 friends. One of them I'm still friends with now, Genie Man, who you still see about now. Yeah. And we made a rap crew. Like, by the time I'd reached secondary school, I went to a very white and Asian school. Yeah. I was like the older black kid, like that. So I was very
cool kid.
I was very, it stood out, you get me? And because I knew music like that, I was already rapping, I was already writing. It weren't good, but I already had a taste for it like that. So I met my 2 friends and the school entered us into a competition that we didn't win. We came second, but they gave us the prize anyway because they really liked what we did. Like the crowd didn't vote for us to be number 1, but this gentleman, Rob Plants, went, these guys are wicked, and offered this really elementary record deal at the time, which you know what I mean? And that was my first year of 7. Like, it happened both times in school.
I know them ones, man.
The first time...
Should have got offered one before like that. Like, we got offered a few of them. Look at what we did. Yeah,
well, we went for it. Yeah. We took the deal. We went into it, which was very similar to the start of my primary school experience, like what I was saying with the little like. So I entered school and it was just like, whoosh, go do something else for 3 years. So we did a lot of touring. We did release.
What was the group called?
The Prophecy.
Okay.
The Prophecy, yeah. And my name was Supernova then.
Okay.
Jeez.
Okay.
But you get me, that was what the vibe was them times, you get me. It was all it was coming out.
For the car.
Yeah, blood, we was all coming out of garage and it. Like I was young, like a lot of the older man. I'm listening to the older man.
Nova GTs and all that. Yeah.
I'm listening to Passion and you see me and MC Doctor and them man there as a YG and I'm trying to just replicate the thing, you get me.
All of them legends there.
Big up Doctor.
Yeah, I know them man there.
Big up them man there, you get me.
Legends
big up the whole pirate radio.
Them man there the goats. Them man there the real goats.
Yeah. My childhood was pirate radio, Grand Theft Auto, little bit of football. You get me, riding about on the ends, you get me. I was out and about, bro. I was active as well, man. I was outside, man. You know what I mean? I had a lot of friends, you get me? My whole thing, like, because I grew up in Quinton as well, yeah, I can't lie, yeah. My whole, the MO of how I grew up was a little bit different to a lot of my friends because it was around the white boy, them, you get me? And was out, bro. Was drinking and ramping,
it's different
ramping in ways that my man knew how we was ramping, bro.
Let me tell you I know, because remember, like I said, I went to Harbour Hill School.
All right, then.
So there's enough man from Quinton. I got to that school. See now, I'm a man, when I was little, I could fit in with everybody.
All right.
You see, I used to bundle cut urban, all the things well from early and all that was good. So, them kind of things that make you naturally have a connection with people, you get me? With people who probably not from my background.
Yeah.
So obviously, naturally now, also, remember man's from the ends, so man can get certain things. So when I'm coming to the school with certain things, man, I'm saying, yo, brother, go up to mines after school. And I'd go up there and I'd see. Yeah. When I go Quinton, Kingston, anytime I used to make a white boy friends, we'll go up there with
the other direction from town.
You just know, say,
the other way down the Hagley Road.
Yeah.
Just go,
You just know, say, yo, when you go up there, it's just different. You'll go up there, man's all saying, yo, come, let's go get something to smoke at man's all going to a man's mum's yard.
I was smoking weed in my blood.
A man's mum shutting it though. You go to a man, it's different.
But bro, my music career, my lifestyle, and me as a person couldn't have existed without them people. You get me? Because I was able to do stuff.
No, but it's proper.
You understand?
It showed me something different. When I went up there, so like going up there, I used to go up there regular because them look foreign ensies, that's why I know. Them kind of ensies there. I'm a man, I go up them kind of ensies and I just drive around like it's normal. Yeah. Because when I was little, I used to venture out because I like them kind of...
different vibes.
You get
vibes,
me?
Bro. Different girl, different links, different... Yeah, bro. It was all that, fam. It was all... And to be honest, as he being in Quinton, I can actually remember... I can honestly remember when black people discovered Quinton. I know that sounds like such a mad statement.
No, I know
I hope everyone can understand what I'm saying here. Because before that...
watching this,
so I was reasoning with Saf about it.
Trust me, he knows. Yeah, we know, man. Trust
me.
Bro,
I remember the moment, fam. Them man remember me being there, you get me? These man, I was there.
Come on, you was there?
I was with the people that they discovered there, you understand? Because I grew up there like that, you see me? I didn't talk like them, man.
Christopher Columbus
I didn't talk like them, man.
Columbus business.
Bro, them man used to say I talk like a white boy, you get me? And the way I used to dress in that, bro. I was wearing Stone Island. Yeah. It was about the cost tracksuit. It was about the aqua scooter. It was football hooligan swag.
Or wearing it with Rockports.
Your Berghaus, with the TN hat.
Man, I wearing Lacoste tracksuit with the Rockport shoes.
Yeah, with the football socks. You know with the football socks and the tracksuit buttons tucked in. That was me, fam. No, bro, that was me. People that know me, they know that was me, fam. You get me? And I was with like Genie, man, like, can attest, them were my oldest, fam. Them were the people that took me in their yard. You get me? The Irish people, them, you see me?
So, you see, like the rap thing. So what happened with that then, with the group and that?
So the group, it did what it did. I was far too young to manage my own affairs. I think for me to be responsible for myself. I think. Respectfully, my mum and my dad didn't really fully understand. Well, my dad did, but this is around the time my parents had separated, so I was a little bit of a distance away from my dad at the time, but my dad's always encouraged my music and facilitated my music, you get me? But just within that time, it wasn't the same, do you know what I mean? Naturally how things go, you see me? And they never really understand, and we're talking about 2002. So this is a long time, bro. This is at a time when even Grimes knew You get me? Grimes knew these times.
Them times there, 2002, yeah. I'm going Sidewinder. Them times we're going Swindon. We're going Brunel Rooms and we're going Sanctuary. We're going Milton Keynes Sanctuary and we're going Swindon Brunel Rooms. Them times there.
I weren't raving yet.
Yeah, you wouldn't because you're just younger. But them times, the reason I say that to you is because you're right. That's when grime. That is when I first saw Dizzy Rascal and Wiley on stage at the People's Choice Awards.
I remember I Love You. I Love You. I Love You is the landmark of that time in my life.
Yeah. I'm going Sidewinder and the Eskimo dances.
Yeah.
Enough man don't even know about Sidewinder and Eskimo dance down here.
So how old are you?
Right now, I'm 36, coming 37.
So my friends would have been your age.
Yeah.
And I was the snot nose that weren't.
Yeah.
You understand?
We used to go to them, me and YG, even me and Triller certain times, Cambridge. We used to go up to them places.
I remember Triller, even as I was messy organisation, and remember them I was up the road from me.
Crew, bro.
You get us Harbour one. We used to be the Bearwood, sorry. We used to go Bearwood, we used to go Harbour.
My thing.
Yes, fam. You get me? Naturally, you get me because that's the border there, Hagley Road, fam. That's where, you know what I mean? But yeah. So it kind of did its thing. We toured a lot. We released a single. I got a lot of experience.
How much years did it last for?
3 years.
Okay.
3 years.
So that would bring you up to like 2005.
Year 9 brought me up to year 9, and the reason why I noticed year 9 is because I remember it was such a fun time between year 7 and year 9, just being this like school celebrity and this local celebrity based on this thing, and then it all kind of crashed into a halt, and everyone's picking their options. Remember, you pick your options in year 9. And I remember being in year 9 and being like, blood, I feel like this is my first day of school. Like, and then like, after me, I'm like, literally it was mad. Like, rapping was like, this is back when like, if you could MC, it was like, it was still like a rare talent.
I like you saying.
You understand what I'm saying? Like everyone can rap now, like everyone in their youth can rap, blood. You see me? Like back then it was like, Ross, like this person can rap.
It definitely went something to get a career from. Like people weren't going out there saying, I want to, Kai's like, you sure you want to do that? Like
people can rap them times.
You sure you want to get a trade?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, don't go down that.
Don't do that.
You're chasing a pipe dream kind of thing, you get me? So all right then, cool. Say that lasted for 3 years. So, what was you doing when that finished from 2005? What was you doing musically? Musically,
that's where I then started to kind of do things more locally.
Because obviously Grimes.
It's grime now.
It's
grime now,
yeah.
And I'm starting to meet people, and it's all crews, and it's like where me and I got mentioned LCB. Enough people that remember me know me with LCB. I don't know if anybody like this is old people stuff. I don't know. There's probably a very select few people that remember this, but it was LCB and myself. We had a crew called Partners in Crime. That was the first name.
I think I remember that.
Partners in Crime, and we used to, we was doing Oxygen Room.
You know what? Yes.
Yeah.
Because I was Oxygen Room rap.
Yeah, man.
I showed enough man about Oxygen Room.
Yeah.
Ace1 will tell you now. I showed enough man about Oxygen Rooms, and that's the reason why a lot of people went there. Yeah, trust me.
So I got a shout out to LCB. LCB was the first person to kind
Partners
of...
in Crime, you know, I do remember this actually.
Yeah, bro, we was doing a lot of sets, we was connecting with a lot. The first person to give me a
little white boy DJing for you.
Yeah, Mercury.
Yes.
Yeah, man. DJ Mercury. Yeah. And we had a radio station called Heated FM.
Yes.
Heated FM that we used to run.
Yeah.
And we'd invite guests on there. And boom, and was Billing Song and DJ Mercury.
So did Desper and Booski go on there as well?
Yeah, we was going on the Desper and Booski show. I'm sure Desper and Booski would have came there. Like we was all connected. I remember there was like MDK them times.
MDK, bro.
Like Little G, Pressure, Design, V Done, and then they had like, and then even with, but before Pressure being in MDK, he was in a next crew called Esco Movement.
Yes.
Which was from...
I know Pressure's thing, cause Pressure, yeah.
You understand?
All that, what you're saying now, yeah. I remember, this is Beats TV.
Beats TV, come on, fam.
This is man with his Oxygen Room. This is the...
NODB are hot.
Yeah.
I brought Devilman's hot.
I brought NODB to Oxygen Rooms. Devilman brought me and Triller 2 majors.
Yeah. Them times Devilman was like a god.
He was a guy and he wouldn't deal with anyone.
No, bro. As a youth, he was like The way how man used to view him in them times,
different.
It was like,
and I will say, you know, big up DV, because you know what, yeah, it was very recipient, like, you know what I mean, like the way when he noticed man's talent, yeah, he done whatever he could to push man in the right direction and put man around the right people, you get me? And that's what kind of made man bubble, you get me? Him and AV, you get me?
Hearing him on sets like Too Cold for the Roads.
Yeah.
Them kind of sets was what made me want to carry on doing music.
Yeah.
After them things had folded in, when I'm hearing local man do sets with man like Bruiser, Flirt a Day, and boom, 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 I'm like, okay, the thing is real. Because there's local man that I connected with. Like, them things were gold to me, bros. And what Birmingham mic controllers,
all them things.
Them thing there, you get me, fam, like, Street Agenda, Badness is DVD.
And no Scarcher as well.
Scarcher, yeah. Like,
man, I was involved in all that.
Bro, I was indoctrinated by that. I was involved in all that.
All them things you go on there, you'll see my face on all them things. So I know still. Yeah.
I was taking it in. It in heavy, and I was involved and I was active. But we weren't, because we was from Quinton and Northfield and Frankly.
I know what you mean.
Nobody really knew about them sides them time, and it was always like you're from white end.
Now what you're saying,
we used to get a hard time.
Let me show you something now. You see that scene? Because I was talking to a man about this the other day. It wasn't even from Handsworth and all that, and Aston Newtown. You know where it was from? Let me tell you where all them music man there came from back in the day. Sheldon and Chelmsley Wood.
Yeah, them places.
And then Rock.
And Rock and
so,
them. Yeah.
All over that side of Neutrals and that.
Yeah, you're right.
Them man, Borsley Green. They had
100%.
all the spitters, fam.
Correct.
I'm DJs, I'm asking, man, I'm telling, man. Smooth FM, Hot 92. Them man, it's only when Vortex crew and them man, they come around. DAZ, Stranger, Devil Man, obviously had Vader from Winston Green. These are like Andit Man, Winston Green Man. You had Power Oak crew from Aston. They big up them because they was on this B16. They Aston Park and you know them man they. Other than that, it's all over from that side. You know what I'm saying? So I get that. You get me?
Yeah, it was all. But we was in a weird place. You get me?
Yeah, I know, man.
And to be fair, because of that, I think my career, my influence, and what made me relevant in that time went the opposite direction in opposed towards town. It was more towards Dudley. We was going Neverton. We was going. It was them white guys that embraced us.
But you're filling up a fan base nonetheless.
But we built a fan base.
They're hardcore fans.
But they could relate to us because the way how we used to rap related more to that as a lifestyle anyway.
I get you.
Do you understand what I'm saying? That's if you listen to my old music, like which. Do you know what I mean? There's still old music floating around. It was different. Do you get what I mean? It weren't like that. It sounded more like that.
Very different.
Which is a lot more regular to hear now.
So now we get up to like 2009. Yeah. Now, this is like the kind of times when I first seen you. Now I'm gonna bring Goonies, Rainbow.
Goonies.
Because you was a figure in Goonies, man. You know, you was there.
We was Goonies, bro.
Yeah.
We was Goonies.
Explain to me about the whole Goonies. How did you get intertwined with Goonies like that? Because that was new to me. Remember, I just come out of prison them times and the grime thing is new. Remember, man brought back the grime thing. Man are bringing me to these places.
I've never told this story, and enough people ask me this story.
Goonies was serious. You see, Goonies, before I start, Goonies, let me tell you about Brumtown Goonies. Let me set the mood for you. This is Rainbow, yeah? It's a little dungeony, clean, but still dingy, dungeony, like X kind of pub thing in it. But like they've
Rainbow Courtyard before it got renovated.
All right then, and you go there, it's ram, yeah, full of young. It's mixed crowd, but mainly white youths. But it's a mixed crowd though, and
100%.
They're going mad, yeah, and you just got man spitting. But bro, this place, you know, I'm gonna tell you something now.
There's a sense to this.
You see P Money.
Hold on.
This is what birthed them,
no, 100%, but hold on. No, you're right, you get me, but hold on. We have to tell the story correctly, right? Yeah, because a lot of this is like lost history in this thing as well, fam, especially for the grime thing. You get me, the modern grime, not talking about the old thing or whatever, but
big up P in that though still.
Big up people, big up P Money, big up P Money.
You know they don't shy away from it.
Nah, man, it's my G, and he'll say the same thing.
He says in tunes.
P Money's a real one. P Money will say the same thing.
He said in tunes where he's the best. So my bro, Goonies tell you the answer.
Come on, bro. Big up P Money, yeah. Because that was a big link up again.
Got to respect P.
But all right then, here we go. Yeah. You see that whole time there, before Goonies, you have to go back a little bit before Goonies to make Goonies make sense. Yeah. For Goonies to make...
I'm in the can, so show me.
You're in the can, right, yeah. For Goonies to make sense, you have to understand what Digbeth is, yeah? Mm-hmm. And where Digbeth kind of got this new, people know Digbeth now. People never used to party in Digbeth like that, yeah? When I was a youth, no one ever used to party in Digbeth. Digbeth was warehouses and the custard factory. That's the only place where you go.
I used to go to party.
No, you'd go air. No, you'd go air.
No, not air. Cold.
Cold. You'd go air.
No.
You go
Air's cold, but air. Yeah. The cold is what they called air before it was before air. That's how old I am.
All right. No, man. No. But watch this. No, let me break it down because I know this is a fact about you. Yeah. If you was a raver, you would party in Digbeth.
Sanctuary.
But the general public,
Some cities.
The general public didn't party in Digbeth. Digbeth wasn't this destination what it is now for you to understand what I'm saying.
Only the real people used to go to Digbeth.
Yeah, you had to be a bit different.
You have to know.
Yeah,
because it's sticky down there.
It's sticky down there. We know that Digbeth, the heritage of Digbeth and what Digbeth is the real Irish heritage of Birmingham. Big up the Irish Centre, which is no longer there. I don't know
why, but yeah, go on.
I don't know why either. Well, we do know why, but yeah.
We know. I know why.
Yeah, but anyway, Digbeth was the outcasts, the weird people, the hippies, people with the weird piercings and the tattoos on their face, and the people that live in the squats and the little things in the buildings, and they go raving at Shambhala and you know what I mean, and they might have a little mushroom trip and rare and this and that, but those were the people that owned Digbeth in that time. Digbeth didn't belong to anybody but them. Nobody saw a value in Digbeth them times other than the Irish people who owned the spots, two smart people that bought up the stuff and maybe some potential value around there in the future, and the hippies that used... The only thing I could compare it to was like Shoreditch before Shoreditch became Shoreditch.
I get you, man. I get
parallel. Yeah,
I get
of course you get me because you see the thing, yeah? Now, within that space now, you had a lot of kids that when we was at school, we used to call them Grebo. Yeah, white boys that used to do the skating and
they would chill in them spots.
In them spots, in the park, in Pigeon Park, and they were the Grebos, yeah? And they were Grebos when we was in like year 7, year 8, year 9.
I remember them, man.
And as they got more taste and music developed, they started to listen to more black music while they were skating. Then we stopped calling them Grebos and we started calling them Wiggers, yeah? And it was almost like this weird space of like, these skater kids that listen to grime and they kind of wear Vans.
And they smoke enough weed.
That
was beneficial.
But they're kind of down.
That was beneficial to man.
No, you understand what I'm saying? Like, but
that's the main thing.
But not only that, but they come from good homes.
I know that.
And they come from good homes.
So they're kind of clean.
So they're clean and their paperwork's clean and they're accessible. You understand what I'm saying? So by the time we reach 2009 now, them same man that we used to bully and call Grebo and then we used to bully and call Wigger, they're like 18, 19 and they've got their first little bit of clank. We probably still ain't seen our first little bit of clank yet. Like, but these men are, whether it's your inheritance or...
I did, but them man.
But I'm saying not...
no, I'm joking. Like, you know. It's a
we don't spoke about that one, you get me? They know Kyle Boss, you get me? We talking about how they know the counting money in this video since then. Right, yeah. But me personally, I never really seen no clank by 17, 18.
No one did. Not even me. Not that I know what real money is. Even me, but I thought I did. Nah, I never had to be right, man. You're right.
But these youths, parents had money and they had different, fam,
different.
But they loved music, and they understood our music, and they had the money and the access for them to be able to do investments and things in this area,
Okay.
So the first thing that I ever went to in Digbeth, that's what they invited me to. Funnily enough, it was the first day I ever met Toddler T. Shout out, this is Toddler T's first time in Birmingham as well.
I know you and him are kind of close.
Good friend of mine, Toddler T. Yeah, that's one of my G's, bro.
Yeah, no lava and that, but
yeah. He's first time I met Toddler, and this is around the same time like that, and I've been invited to a dance called Bigger Than Barry, in that same little place. This is before Goonies, isn't it? And I've walked in there, Nado, right, and I've listened to the music, and I've went, this is the hardest thing that I've heard. And remember, these times, this is off the back of Gang Crime Birmingham, and no one ain't really rapping and playing too much black music in clubs too hard, and there ain't too much anything that's going on, getting
what's it called? The
696.
696 forms come through.
Yeah, everything's getting 696 then.
Yeah, you know as well.
Everything's at an all-time low.
These times the low skills having dance has to put in next people's names and all this.
And man are doing a lot of bassline and different stuff away from
even normal
the rough stuff, you get me?
The city
but I've got into a dance now though.
Yeah.
I've walked into a dance and there's bare of these skater man, full wall to wall, 4 rooms, like ram right here. Everyone's mash up, man them, gal them, and they're playing our music. They're playing dancehall, they're playing grime, they're playing drum and bass, they're playing the youth, them are raving and they're sick. And I'm in this thing here and I'm like, blood, this is the twilight zone. This is the first day I met Toddler T, right here. And the way I felt in the situation is that I knew I had to go onto the stage, right here, and do something. I felt offended. I can't, this is me telling you, I felt offended, bro. I felt like there's nowhere else in the city where I've ever heard this music played and people are smoking weed indoors and it's all that, bro, like, I was confused, bro. I thought this thing was illegal, bro, the way how the thing was getting dealt with then, you get me these times, fam. And I've gone up there, that's the day I met Toddler T, and he let me host the night and I spit 2 lyrics and he was like, yeah man, you're bad, you get me? And from that became my home. Before Goonies, the Rainbow became my home. Yeah, and that little strip.
So by the time the Goonies came around,
Rainbow,
you were already in there.
I was in Rainbow,
it makes
bro.
sense. So it makes sense. So why do you think I asked you what was your connection with them? Because like I said to you, I was new to it. You get me? So when I'm going there, and you're there, so remember I don't know ya. So I'm saying, yo, who's this man? You know what I'm saying? He's here, regular. I can see that you're about though, like you know everybody here, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's what I was asking. What's your connection with Goonies?
But because of the way how we grew up, as you know, coming from where you're coming from and seeing what I go on, I had this instinct of knowing how them felt at the time. We've got an energy sometimes that we can carry and it's okay with us when we can make the room get dark, you get me, and party like that. And it's still like that to this day when we go to our parties. We can party to some rough tune and some gunman tune and some rare tune and we don't feel away. Where at that time, my role was, it was like, I just wanted to keep the vibes going. That was my whole thing. So I took it on as a responsibility.
They were trying to shut it down.
They were trying to shut it down.
What happened was where they messed up is, there's a lot of people at the time as well, other people, not people, but you see when the man them locked up, bro.
Yeah.
You see, cause I remember when I come out the canyon and I remember I'm saying to Trilla, listen, I know you're doing your baseline thing and this one, I can see, but I'm saying, listen, we have to remember this part, this other part, what we need to, you know what I'm trying to say?
I was a baseline raver as well. A baseline was moody, bro.
No, baseline pop, I'm saying.
Dubstep were moody like baseline.
What I'm saying now, I'm saying to we need to learn, bro. We need to get back to the grind. We need to get back to learning down the place and take over the place.
Yeah.
You get me?
I remember.
So that, you get me? So
So around this time is the emergence of other man's real super impact.
Yeah.
In the sense of Stay Fresh, Grime Squad, Invasion, that new generation C4, Predator.
Predator made a brand new one.
Remember, this is Twitter times, you know. This is Twitter's bossing up the place. iTunes is just boss. Like, these little things were all like new vehicles for us to get our music out there. So during that time, so what I can say is like Goonies, shouts out to Goonies and shouts out to Ian Candyman as well. But like, within that, as a music man, Ian was a clothing man. Again, this is the thing again. I met Ian because of where I grew up, I was into skater wear. And then when the streetwear came out now, where it was 10 Deep and Mishkan, like Supreme and, you understand, like this year, I was the black youth bossing vans when man, I was like, blood, what a day, fam.
I don't everyone like them after that. I know what you're
saying. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Like this. How come I remember it anyway? I remember what you're talking about.
You remember, fam, you get me? I used to turn up to the set like that, fam. I'd be in oxygen rooms with the vans and the little, you understand what I'm saying? The little Mishka hoodies with the tied up like the bow, like the man them with the looking a bit more. You understand what I'm saying? Like, my swag was a little bit different then, and because of that, the G, they never really understand it, you get me? They never fully grasp it then, and I got it, but like, that was just how we done it, you get me? And that was just my thing, and I was into that. But around that time, that's when, again, just like Quinton, and the world started to merge. Everybody started to link up. Black youth started getting into streetwear. People started to discover these raves. Us as MCs and rappers and stuff like that discovered that there was places that we could go and
all over the place,
do this music. And
best time of my life.
You understand? It's the best time of my life, bro. It was the best time in raving ever in Birmingham. That was that, especially in anyone that was there, bigger than Barry.
It was touring, bro.
I stayed in Digbeth.
It was a non-stop tour.
I stayed in Digbeth at 19. At 19, I never left Digbeth, bro. I was at it was Goonies. It was Bigger Than Barry. Then it was Gutter Skank on a Sunday. Then it was Dubstep Warriors. Then it was, like, bro, there was a party every single night.
I sound like Tony Ayo now. It was 50. I was with Triller, so I went on a 2-year tour, basically.
Yeah.
I went on the road for 2 years, fam.
Also, around this time, not even to bang on too much, but this is super relevant. No, because you just reminded me, because you're real, is around that time, because I remember seeing I remember seeing Triller. Triller was active them times. I remember seeing, all right, let me tell you the first big Triller tune, how close, because you're saying the white boy that used to DJ for us, he made probably...
I know Mercs, man.
Mercury, yeah?
Mercury, man.
Mercury. Mercury made the tune for Trinidad that went, put your hands up for Detroit. He recorded it. I love this city. I'll go through right time.
He said it, yeah.
I was there when he recorded that tune, yeah? And the people took onto that tune. That was Triller going viral.
That was the first.
That's the moment Triller went viral, bro. Yeah?
I was there.
Them things that make me excited, dog. You get me? Because I've been there and I've seen it, fam. You get me? Man made careers out of it.
So,
and that.
You spitting and you're doing your thing. 2 years past 2009 to 2000.
I met Skinny Man them times as well.
Yeah, I know. And then in 2011, not many people know this. You done a Fire in the Booth, blood.
Yeah.
You probably one of the first people who done Fire in the Booth. And
I think mine might have been first, you know. Mine might have been first. I think Roxanne did one before me.
I don't know if I'm
Maybe Roxanne.
You've got a Fire in the Booth in 2011. That's
yeah, man.
Early. Mm-hmm. Charlie Sloth looks like a youth. And he's going mad though. He genuinely... He's going mad.
I dropped my first full-length project around that time. Called The Genuine Article, which was me doing 2,000 CDs, physicals, and dropping them off the HMV.
So is that before the Fire in the Booth? He's what kind of got you into that space.
What got me into that space, again, the next person to give me some money and a space and a platform to release some music is an artist called Sonny Jim. Not a lot of people know Sonny Jim. He's an Asian rapper from Birmingham, and Sonny Jim's a bad boy, yeah? He's recently just mashed up the internet with a song. He's got a song out with MF Doom and J Electronica. Yeah, and it's made by a DJ Premier. Like, my man's doing it big, bro, in the rap scene. Like, these man kill vinyls. They've been killing physicals since forever, and I kind of booked upon these man. And I watched the way how they were doing music back then, like 2008, and I'm watching these man put out CDs with barcodes on there, and they got vinyls pressed. And they got a tape, and they got T-shirts, and and I'm looking at it, and I'm saying, hip-hop, them times ain't the coolest thing, but their business ethos and their marketing strategy. I loved hip-hop then, and I was a rapper then. I very much like it, but I understood that it was a niche market as well. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It weren't the hot, you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. But their business ethic and their respect of music and how they did their thing was one of the most inspirational things that I'd ever seen. And all I wanted to do was just hang around with these man, you get me, and learn how to do music like that. Do you know what I mean? Properly, above board, with the barcode and the CD, and you go pick it up from HMV, and it goes on the charts or it don't, and iTunes and rare. So Sonny Jim was the first person to give me a little bit of money, and Devs, another guy called Devs. Devs really like he's the real person who actually recorded me and took care of me and produced that project. Devs, a guy called Devs, recorded it in his house, but Sonny was the facilitator for it. He came out on his album. He mixed it, he got it mastered for me. He put that, it's just like me seeing a young youth right now and saying like, yo, let me do my best to see you go through, do you know what I mean, and use what I've got to as a platform and learn what I'm learning. And this became a mentor, you know what I mean? And that dropped. And it done well. It done well.
And you know what it is as well? Around that time, you was doing a lot of things because you got a tune with Lady Leisha as well. 2012.
That's when I was with Black Butter.
Yeah, that's with Black Butters.
Yeah.
So was you signed to Black Butter, the label?
I was signed to Black Butter for a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like, this is when Black Butter...
Listen, son in the video and
yeah,
doing Leisha.
Yo, let me give you the joke about that. Yeah, this is when Black Butter...
I've been doing my... You know what I'm saying?
Nah, respect
you. See where I'm going, you know?
Nah, respect you. This is, this time here.
Yeah, man.
This is when
Big
Black Butter... This is... Yo, not real thing.
Now, you know what I mean, Ton?
No, respect it, fam.
Yeah, go on.
But this is when Black Butter was just starting out. This is before they bust with Rudimental. Rudimental Feel the Love's the song that bust Black Butter to the world. Remember that tune? The drum and bass tune?
Which one?
I know I said it's true. I can feel the love and the feeling too. I can feel it, Alright then. Big song, yeah? Big song. Big song.
I see. Yeah.
So you know what I go on then, yeah? It's like my relationship with Black Butter started like maybe 6 months before that song, yeah? And during that 6 months, they were like,
This look about it. This look about no BS stuff, you know. Go on, though. I'm not going to you. Obviously, we got a time span, but we're gonna go through it. But go on, man.
They were like wicked, yeah. They were like dancehall, rap, double time, like, and the sound was different then as well. Remember, Afrobeats ain't reached yet. Everything ain't started swinging like how it swings now yet. It's still a bit rigid still. Everyone's still David Guetta in it a bit, you know what I mean? It ain't there, but they're still trying to get it and they're kind of understanding it a little bit. But within the 6 months of me dropping that tune, that Rudimental tune, boss, yeah?
Okay.
And respect due, because it was one of the best things to be around and see at the time, do you know what I mean? And to look at and watch how a little label of two brethren that just love music and just putting a little bit of change into her music can go from Dessa to the big man in the office. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it happens overnight, fam. And respect due to them as well. Big up Noises as well. Noises who introduced me to them. But respect due to them, yeah. Like, as a label, still to this day, because of the artists like J Hussey they got now, but from then, their whole ethos was just about real music. And they stuck to their guns until they found a banger in it, yeah. And these are the things that kind of inspired, again, these are the things that...
Oh, so they do J Huss now?
J Huss is signed to Black Butter,
so you
fam.
with big people?
Yeah.
RTKAL.
J Huss is Black Butter, fam.
Art is mad. I see.
J Huss is Black Butter, fam.
nicely though, people that we see on the roadside there. Yeah, nah, man.
Bro, I was living in London them times, you get me?
Say no more.
That's when I was with Skinny Man, Mud Fam. I was touring the road red with Skinny Man them times.
Yeah, I sing in Prague.
Running the road red with me and Skinny Man.
I'm gonna show you now, but boom. I can see that it's like 2003.
Yeah.
I'm on 13.
13, yeah.
I can see a transition in here. Yeah. Where the lyrics are getting deeper now.
Yeah.
The hair starting to, you're starting to not comb it. It's starting to come out the side of the cap now.
Like, what's out the side of that thing?
Then I noticed now, then I turn around and you started nattying up now. Am I right? 13, 14. You started nattying, innit?
Yeah.
Am I right, innit?
2012.
Huh?
2012.
Yeah, but 2012, but that's when you start, but when did the natty started forming though?
2013.
So I got it.
No, you're right. You know, you're bang on.
So I'm a journalist now.
I feel like I'm a sci-fi right in 2012.
So wait there. I'm a journalist now, then.
No, serious,
right,
no.
Yeah.
Put some respect on it, man.
Yes, I need payments now, because this is mad now. That's what I say to you. I'm a journalist and I'm doing it mad. This is off the books. You understand now?
Big nights.
Yeah, listen. Now, differently though, big man thing, so you started to, so what made you go down, obviously I know, I could see that you was kind of deep anyway, but I can see that's when you're proper searching, like, you're on this rasp path now, bro. I can see, I've watched the videos, I've seen the trajectory in the music and that. So what made you know what I mean?
All right, listen, I come on a reasoning podcast now.
Yeah.
And you see, there's enough things for us to get through. There's enough stories we can tell, dog. Like, but she said we depend on the reasoning. We have to give you the real answer in it into Wagwan. You see, 2012, yeah. 2012. I'm living in London. Yeah. It's me. I ain't even gonna disclose names. Yeah. It's me in a house with my baby mother. Practically. My ex-girlfriend in the same house. Yeah, he's now a musician. Yeah. And then my ex-girlfriend now.
Your ex-girlfriend is now a musician?
No, I'm showing you this. My ex-girlfriend who is a musician.
What, rapper?
All of them, everybody's a musician. Everybody in the house is a musician. Rapper, artist, yeah? Everybody in the house is a musician.
So all that, no?
Yeah? Right, yeah.
That's it.
Practically.
All that, I see.
Yeah.
All that,
Yeah.
see.
And an ex-girlfriend's girlfriend.
You know what it is?
Yeah.
I kind of know, but I'm not going to do it on here.
No, bro,
I think I know, but go on,
it's the reasoning. This is what I'm saying. I can have this conversation.
Yeah,
the reasoning.
it's a set of
we're
names
talking
then.
sense. No, we're talking sense. No, we're talking sense.
We're not going to be nobody data.
No, bro, yeah. And what I'm saying is, when I reach London, yeah, and these people are my family, all of these people, yeah, are still my friends to this day.
So hold on.
Who I respect.
Sorry
and love.
though.
Yeah.
I'm not being funny. And I don't like. So you're basically saying that you're living in this yard, yeah, and you're digging out everybody in the yard?
No, I'm not saying that.
But you have in the past though. But all of them's had you before.
No, not all of them. It's my baby mother, yeah, and a girl who I used to see. Yeah?
Okay. But how can you in the same yard, fam?
Because we're living in London, yeah. Everybody's doing music, yeah. And in this time,
and London's expensive as well.
London's expensive. No, not only that.
So it makes sense.
No, bro. All jokes aside, the reason for that whole situation was about me trying to centralize the badness. You understand? We're all there together. Yeah.
So that's when the Rastings kicked in. Like, that's real Rastaman stuff.
No, bro. Let me show you. No, I'm gonna tell you.
One roof.
No, bro.
Trust me.
No, bro. There's.
If it's not the axe, I'm an axe. Bro, if it's not the axe, it's the rasses are doing that.
Bro, let me show you. No, this is probably the most maddest time of my life. This is probably the worst time of my life. This is the most stressful time of my life. But yet the greatest time of my life, right? Yeah. We all moved into a house together in London, fam. Yeah. This was like the music house, fam.
Okay.
Yeah? The music house.
Works is running.
Everybody's got little deals running. Yeah. This one's got a deal with big label. I've got my thing going on with Black Butter. My shouts out to my baby mother Nikki, you get me? She was doing her music thing then times, you get me? Nikki's got a long time, she's still in the music career right now and doing her thing, you get me? As an A&R and in the industry and doing her thing. So like long time with Dane at this thing, you get me, doing this. But the purpose of what we was doing was about trying to push this thing forward, you get me? And me trying to tackle this thing. The reason why I say this is the first time this was me trying to take on music outside of being an artist.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
As a facilitator.
I get it, man. I get it.
As a man with a vision that can say, yo.
You're trying to push the movement now.
You understand?
You're behind the scenes now.
We're trying to push the movement now. We're trying to power up the thing. We're trying to say, yo, there's strength in numbers. Yeah? And again, respect to the girl them that I was working with them time, because none of them they're all still out here working. Yeah? And doing their thing and grinding as hustlers. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a respecting when I tell these stories here and talk these, but it's my truth and it's my story, you understand? And where we're also deep into the music them times there like that, what really made me sight up Fire Eye was that my whole career up to that point was me wanting to be in as far in the mix of music as possible. You understand? I want to know every artist. Me want to go at the artist party. Me one day, like, what does that look like? What does that feel like?
I like you saying, man.
And I found myself, and to be honest, in London, in the middle of access to pretty much everything. Like the amount of different people that I work with, Nado is mad, bro. My Black Book's deep, bro. The biggest, I've got songs with old songs that ain't come out with Chase and Status. I got songs with Mikey J. I got songs with Flipping Young, and I've got songs with, like, bro. I could just do this like for ages. Tiggs the author, like there's so many people that I've worked with in the studio that have become big artists and people in this stuff during that time. And what I found was that in that moment in the industry, as I said, this was just before Afro beats and just before this little
No,
dancehall.
this is when everyone.
Renaissance.
No, stop. I'll tell you what this is. This is when everyone tried to get a deal. We're going commercial.
Yeah.
So,
That's what was happening.
Yeah.
And I found myself in a place where I felt like my talent weren't being used for me. You understand? I felt like I was being drained, bro. I felt like I had all these ideas and these flows and all this music and had access to every session and everything, but something just didn't feel right, dog. You understand? And within that meditation, it kind of left me in a place where I weren't really dropping music again. Yeah, I had a management deal. I had label deals on the table. I had stuff going on, but something weren't connecting for me. You understand what I'm saying personally within myself and within my music and how I felt based on my experience of what I'd seen within the music industry. You understand? And then the next thing was going on tour with Channel 1 sound system, which is like a RTKAL Rastaman sound. And I never forget Ras Caleb. Big up Ras Caleb from Channel 1 sound system. I was with Screamer. Screamer was there. Screamer could tell you this story. The two of us sit down in the car, you know, part one tour, you get me, we're driving going Newcastle, bro, yeah? Screamer's there, I'm in the middle, Caleb's driving, I think. And the man turned around to both of us and said, yo, he said, you got powers, you know. He said, your music's full of powers. He goes, but you know what your problem is? You're not praising who give you the powers. And until you start giving thanks and praising, using the powers to praise the who give you the powers and start saying his name in the thing. Yeah, just like that the man said to you, you know. He said your thing naga connect. Yeah? Around these times, me and Screamer are going Outlook Festival. A national Outlook Festival, fam. When Outlook Festival was just starting, we're on the road with Channel 1 and Mongo's Hi-Fi, and it was them man that really showed me that it was, it wasn't them man that showed me to Sci-Fi, right? But it was, and Skinny Man as well, as a white man.
Yeah. Skinny Man's deep.
Like, it was them man that really showed me that it was okay for me to, not even okay, but time, to put them kind of energies into the music, you see me? And I feel like from the moment that I really recognized that as an energy and a message and kind of added a value to my music, which I felt like, yeah man, I was good at the rapping and I had sick flows and the tunes are cool and that, but what's it about, blood? Who are you? Who the fuck are you, innit? Substance,
like
dog.
C4's music.
Substance, fam. You get me? That's where I come from, was substance, and that was me reconnecting with something that was like really natural to me in that time. And yeah, man, I went to Africa. I went Gambia for a bit, and then I stayed there for a bit and did some work.
It's mad you saying that because traveling. That's what I'm saying. Next time, I know say on that journey, traveling was played a big part for you.
Massive part.
Say you was going enough places.
Massive part, bro. I lived in Yard for a bit. I lived in Gambia for a bit. I was living in Amsterdam and Rotterdam for a bit. Sorry. I've been Denmark. I've been Prague. I've lived in Switzerland for a bit. Bro, the amount of different places. France, Slovenia. Yo, I don't even remember half of the things, you know, dog. You get me, like, we tore that top and tail like England, dog. You get me, we drive out. He's from the little piece of, from the piece that look like a head. Down to little piece that look like a foot, like a toe. Up in England, we drive out the whole of that Rose Cloud, dog, and left and right and all that stuff, long time, you get me? So I got to see life and different cultures and different people and connect to different things, innit? Just around that time, it was just like, Rastafari was what was giving me the strength to want to carry on making music. You understand? Because without that vibration, it meant nothing to me.
So no more than. So we're gonna move on to biggest bomber class spliff. Because trust me, because that there, cause when I'm praying it, I'm seeing the tune. Even y'all done the video on Matches Lane. If for all those who don't know what Matches Lane is, you get me. You see me on Matches Lane.
Matches Lane,
You see me on there.
Yeah.
Matches Lane's a serious place.
Hey, you see how much weed we had out there, fam?
Not anybody can go to Matches Lane.
Then,
Matches Lane's a very serious place, you get me? So, you done that tune, and then you done one extra show on B.
That was not long ago, that was the other day.
Was that the other day?
Yeah.
So Biggest Bomber will come out way before that?
Way before that.
Okay.
So, what I'd say is around the time, okay, I said the time is perfect in what you've just mentioned there, in the story, the bang on. again, big up journalist Nades, you get me? Due diligence and thing, because I think around that time of sighting fire and traveling, going to Yard, going to Gambia, I kind of found myself in a space where I didn't know where my music fit in England anymore, in that sense. Not that people didn't still love it and I weren't still getting booked and doing my thing, but I just didn't feel like that was my competition ground at the time. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
So that took me to Jamaica. Well, before it took me to Jamaica, I was going to Jamaica sonically in my mind. You understand what I'm saying? And the rhythms that I was looking for and the styles that I'm trying to take influence from. And
I get what you're saying.
How I'm taking, I'm going out there and I'm living there and I'm trying to take in the culture and feel certain vibrations, you get me? And through that, I stole a rhythm. I stole a rhythm. The rhythm was produced by a producer called Equinox, Gavsborg Equinox. Equinox is the man that made Busy Signal, Step Out in the Black House, Clap for Girl, Boss, amongst millions. But that's his big tune. Enough people know him for that, but Equinox is a big producer, you get me out there. And at the time, this was Massacre. This was his first song that he put. It's a song called Police. This is early Massacre. If Massacre was to see this, Massacre would laugh is enough, because we're talking about young Massacre now.
Massacre can see this, man.
A young Kabaka Pyramid.
Massacre's gonna see this.
A young Kabaka Pyramid.
Massacre's gonna see this.
And Addis Pablo, and like this is a time in the music, right? This is a rhythm a song that Massacre did called Police. And when I heard the rhythm for the song Police, it's a grime rhythm. I'm just listening to the rhythm and I'm going, this is like a yard man making a grime rhythm. And it's busting my head, fam, because I'm going, no one ain't got this. Others got that, but no one ain't. It's 140, And the way our Massacre's chopping on the rhythm, it's like,
mad.
No, it's like a grime thing. This is when Donia's going mad and doing
them time there. Them flows there.
All the Busy Signals going mad and these man are doing. This is what's this is what's like inspiring my thing now. I'm thinking these man are getting choppy with the flow. That's how and the voice and the projection and the way how they're dealing with it. It's like a different. It's like the Formula One. You understand? If I can keep up over there, so then that means I can keep up. You understand? And I teeth this rhythm from Massacre, this tune Police and I fling it out and I release the tune like it was my tune. And I give the tune to Toddler T. And Toddler T played the tune on radio. And when Toddler's played the tune, my brethren heard the tune. Equinox through Toddler T now. And Toddler T sent an email saying, yo, the man who's reading your teeth has heard the tune. So when I've heard this email now, I'm thinking, a problem then, you get me, like the man like this here. He's like, nah, blood. The man said the song's bad, fam, you get me? And when you're next in Yard, like if you pull up and link up and boom, so they give me the link. And me and this Jesus talk and connect, Funnily enough, within that time, I was happening to be going to Yard within a month. Equinox them now. Invite me to go to the studio. Invite me to go to the studio where they're at now, in Vineyard Town. And this is why I said Luke should be here. So I just flew out there with Luke, me and Luke, just fly out, said we're gonna go link these man, Rent a car and thing, you get me? Drive going to Vineyard Town. This is the first time when I'm really taking on Yard like, as a one man, you see me, we pull up at the G's Yard, when me and him start reasoning and thing, it's like, his understanding of UK music and respect of UK music and even idolization of English music was like of equivalence to mine of Jamaican music, where I'm like, you know about this, but he's telling me about Wiley and telling me about Dirty Dugs and rare, and I'm going, blood, what you know about these? You understand? And I'm teaching him about, grime come from Music 2000 on the PlayStation, and he's going, raw, and he's telling me, King Tommy did it. And we just had this amazing musical exchange for about a week, and that's where them songs came out of Biggest Bomber Clout Spliff, Taffadali, Herbs and Praise, which are the 3 songs that was on the EP that I made with him. That EP changed the whole trajectory of my career. Because that was my introduction into Jamaican music authentically, with an authentic Jamaican brand being sponsored and there and people are listening to the music and all a Show Crime. Show Crime's a big artist over there. Like,
Yeah, Show Crime,
people
yeah.
respect Show Crime in the ghetto. He used to be in Idonia's crew. He's doing his own thing now, you get me? But yeah, man, them man, they are real people, you get me? People that know Show Crime, and even Frisco was on that EP as well.
Yeah.
But you better know Frisco was on that same EP.
We got Frisco.
Yeah, blood, you get me? Like, so that was my introduction into Jamaica. And then I just started going there, bro, every month, every February for reggae month.
Yeah.
And that was my access into like a lot of like...
And night is good there for Joe. So boom, NBC, you know. What is NBC and when did it start?
NBC is Music Birmingham Culture. NBC, the landmark of NBC, realistically, is the birth of my son.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was, NBC was me
So
finding out...
What year was it? When did it start?
Really, I can't even, it's not the birth, it's finding it. I'd say like 20, I was 25. So it would be 2000 and that'd be 2015. You get me? That's NBC. NBC's me at 25. And that's me finding out, like, not even just finding out, but trying to take life serious and anticipating the birth of my son and saying that there's no rapper's pension.
Yeah.
That was actually my my mindset at the time. It was like 25, I've done all this rapping and music and and there's no rapper's pension, bro. And I just moved back to Birmingham from London. Felt like it was time to come home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just felt like it was time to come home, and I just wanted to be back in Digbeth. Digbeth felt like where it started, and I felt like I'd lost my energy not being there, so I went back to Birmingham, and yeah, it was about me trying to make a brand and something that can outlive me away from just rapping, do you know what I mean, of something that can, that was the initial thought, and within that it became a record label, it was a studio, it's been a music course called Beats and Barriers. It's been a shop and a venue space. We've done festivals, we've done documentaries, we've done all sorts. It's a lifestyle brand. But
No,
the
man,
purpose
it's
of it,
proper, man. It's proper, man. It's proper.
yeah. And it's a space for us to also contain the army. The soldiers were starting to like tap in. That's how it felt, bro. Like there was people that, and it started with this family. Like me and my cousin going like, yo, I want to do something. I want to do a venture. Well, what do you want to do? I don't know. You tell me. You've always wanted to do something. Like, we're with you kind of thing. Get it? Like, and it was this really beautiful moment at 25 where, like, the vision of wanting to do something really, like, resonated amongst me and the people that I was around, which was Luke, Nico, Father Nico, enough people know him, Lost on Green Mile, you get me? John, who's my cousin, and myself, do you know what I mean? And we just started to build this brand, MBC, which stands for Music Birmingham Culture. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it was basically about, music, Birmingham culture. Dog.
So a lot of people might not know you, but you was the musical director for the Commonwealth Games.
Yeah.
2022.
Yeah.
How did that come about? Because it's just, bro, you done some stuff, you know.
Again, it's pretty grace I got, bro. You get me? Like, I don't know if I'm like...
Is that through Punch Records? I know you're affiliated through... I know you're affiliated with them a heavy as well.
This is the maddest thing. A lot of people... Me and Amo actually do have a business. We have a joint venture. You get me? Which people will find out more about. You get me? As a thing. You get me? But prior to that, Punch has just been like a space and a place that's like a mentorship almost, you know what I mean? And a place where I've been able to just do work with people, and they're a company that does things and I'm a person that has ideas in it, do you know what I mean? So whenever I have ideas, it's just been the first port of call, like for me to run ideas by, and they've always been really respectful and reciprocative of what it is that I do in my ideas. But the Commonwealth Games thing actually came about in a completely different way. I was offered to do a completely different job. They're not offered to do a job. They was interested in me doing a job. So they got in contact with me. This is during lockdown. Just shut my business, had to close my business down, my shop space. things weren't looking good, like especially with lockdown. Like I just opened a shop and a public space. That was the purpose of it, was people being in there, and I've just finished paying for it and decorating it, and now I have to close it. Do you know what I mean? So I took a massive financial knock during that time, and I was kind of sat in my first studio, the Vault. Not big up the Vault, but if people remember the Vault. Sat in the Vault, and we was just trying to like work out how we was gonna keep the thing alive. You get me? And I got this contact. They hit me up about this job to do with something about some cultural thing, some job or whatever. And it was like, will you come to the meeting? And I was like, yeah. And when they give me the first call for it, I missed the first meeting. I was in that lockdown kind of. I was just like, I go, what's this thing gonna be? You get me? Like people that know me, they know like how abstract me being the musical director of Commonwealth Games is. Not people are like, really, but I'm like, that's something that's really abstract for me. It's not something that was ever, it was not my plan, like, step one, I'll do this, then I'll do this, then I'll become the director. That was never in my plans, and it just something that kind of appeared.
It's a big thing though.
Huge thing. It was a huge thing, and it was a
Are you responsible for like closing ceremony, opening ceremony? Like it's not a game, bro. Serious?
100%. So when they've offered me this first job next, they've gone there and they're like, boom, boom, boom. They've questioned me about the first job, and then they've went, so what do you think about music and Birmingham music, and what's your opinion? And because I was so relaxed, I think I went there chilling, right? Yeah, I probably just bought a spliff before I went there, right? Yeah, not expecting nothing from nobody. They told me to do a COVID test thing. I was like, nope, or I'm not coming. And they was like, oh, that is all strange, like kind of thing, right? And I've kind of gone there. And I've sat down and I've met the director. His name's Iqbal. Big up Iqbal Khan. This is the reason why I'm in the Commonwealth Games, because of Iqbal Khan. Iqbal Khan is a G. He was the artistic director of the whole thing, and he's Birmingham-born, Pakistani curator, theatre writer. But he's a G. His mind understood where I was at. So he's asked me like, what do you think about Birmingham music and music? And to be honest, bro, because of the way I felt in the situation, I just spoke my heart, fam. Honestly to God, it's the first time I went, because I didn't give a shit about it. I was just like, yeah, well, boom, boom, boom. It's going to be some boring shit, and you probably ain't going to get enough black people involved, are you? And you probably spoke to my man over there, and my man over here, and he's told you this. I bet he said this, and I probably just went off on one to be thinking back about it. And when I kind of got to the end of my ramble, like I'm probably like rambling now, do you know what I mean? I was like, do you know what I mean? Like, the brothers kind of went, that's like the realest thing I've ever heard for the day. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna come back tomorrow kind of thing. And I'm like, well, is it a job kind of thing? And he's like, yeah, there's a food there. I'm like, well, see you tomorrow then, bruv. God, and now I'm gonna pay my bills. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, what is it? I was really on my face, fam. Do you know what I mean? In that 2020 moment, and he's kind of invited us back, and he showed them, we've gone back, and then they've showed us what their plan was for the thing and stuff like that, and told me about how they want to interpretate it musically and what it could be. And I kind of watched it, and they've told me that they've spent this much money on this man doing it already, and it didn't work, and they spent it. And I've kind of watched it now, you know, I'm kind of like, are you serious? Like, this is my genuine reaction, you get me? And I kind of just wrote down a couple of notes, and I come back here, and I linked up with Machino. Those that know Machino know how much of a musical genius Machino is. Machino's like my right arm when it comes to like music right now, and MBC and our sound as Birmingham, Badlands, MBC, like Machino's my shooter, yeah? And I've literally gone back to Machino with a set of notes and an idea and a vision based on what these people were saying. And we just made a rhythm, bro. And when we made the rhythm, I went back the next day and played them the rhythm. And when I played the rhythm, fam, everybody in the room was just silent, fam, and just looking at me like this. And I thought, right, I must have fucked up, you know? Like, yeah, there you go, you fucked it up kind of thing. And then like, a next man's kind of gone over to our next man, and whispered at the next man, and they went, that's like exactly what we wanted. That's the best thing we've... And I was like, right, serious, because I can make it 20 more of them, you know what I mean? And it just flowed from there, dog, you get me? Because we do music, fam. You see me? Like, the music thing ain't hard, fam. And I think then people don't look in the right places, you get me? Naturally. There's something like me doing that job there. This is something that I do want to definitely put out there within this quick way on the point. It's just like, me doing that job there, yeah, was such a mixture. I don't believe in luck, but that was preparation meets opportunity. And I think anybody, all of us, like, there's so much talent, right, in our community where we come from. You have to be prepared. You have to have like a solid faith and be prepared even before the thing.
You have to be ready.
Because when the thing lands,
ready. Let's be ready. Let's be in position, ready for it.
All right then, dog.
But yeah. So before we finish, I want to get into some. But I don't know if you want to talk about this, but I want to talk about Bricks and Trillery quickly. If you don't want to talk about it, we don't have to talk about it.
We can talk about it, bro. Let's talk about it.
So, what happened?
Brings us up to date.
Because, obviously, if you don't know or who don't know, what happens is obviously the cat, she let the cat out of the bag in it or whatever, so...
Yo, big up Bricks and big up Trillery.
Listen, nobody. It's all
Big
music, it's music, and
Big
we're
up
everyone's trying to get somewhere, but I'm trying to say to you, so obviously, a thing's being orchestrated in it so that they can... I don't know, whatever, clash or whatever, to boost each other. I don't know, whatever. You know how this thing goes, music thing.
All right,
Go on.
go on.
And also that you was facilitating and dealing with a lot of the whatever's going on. You know what I'm trying to say to you?
Yeah.
I just know, say, in the end, it's all went wrong.
Did it go wrong?
I don't know.
Did it go wrong?
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm
It's
saying.
of the opinions of the people that consume the art, isn't it? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, art's there to make you feel certain, isn't it? And I think it made people feel certain. Do you know what I mean? Not everything make you smile, you get me? Something. You understand? You get me? There's different kinds of art in the world, but with that said, with that disclaimer said, what I was saying is this, innit? The project was a wicked project. I think the song is dope. I like the song.
Yeah, the song's cold.
Not only do I like the song, people really like the song. People look at listen to the song.
It's cold.
It's a mixture of. It's a mixture of two of the baddest female lyricists where we're having in Britain right now, in my opinion. Yeah. Anybody who's an artist who disagrees.
Bro,
Yeah.
forget all that. Like you said, it's your opinion, so it don't matter what you're saying. That's what you think. What you think, no one can change that. That's you.
No, the reason why I'm saying anyone that disagrees, right, the concept of the song, they're welcome to it.
Brother,
you understand what I'm
mash
saying?
up the tune.
Because
They're serious, they're both serious artists.
And the purpose of the song also, and what made me excited about the song, is that the song's bad blood. It's two girls rapping hard. They're going black to black, and the things like, in a way that I don't think even a lot of male artists would be able to do with egos. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's what made it interesting, and that's what drew me to the project in the first place.
Yeah.
Trillery is actually a friend. You get me? A homie. Bricks is a friend and a homie. So I've got separate relationships with them, separate from that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But within the context of this thing here, like it kind of ended up a bit skew with, and I think like the song would have definitely done a lot more in the world if feelings weren't caught in the middle of the situation, which was real. But the initial sends and the start of the thing before the song dropped, no, they weren't real.
Game plan.
They were orchestrated, and it was a game plan. But what I say is this, is that the energy is real, innit? The energy was very much real. Like,
it's a game, innit?
Yeah,
it's
man.
It's called entertainment.
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
Yeah. And that's the main thing. It's entertainment, dog.
Entertaining, so that's it, man.
Yeah.
We're moving from that. So, we're gonna close up stuff, but before we close up, there's a bit more. Like, let the people them know, like the kind of people who you've like made meet over the events you've had. Let the people them know, fam. Because like even the other day, like with when Nines come down here, and it was all. No, people don't know. Say that was your people with the place where you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. They hit me up in the morning. I wanted to. Do you know what it is? You see MySpace. Like what I found him. Other than being a musician, I think the main thing of my job is like I'm like.
Can you connect?
I'm a solution man.
Together?
You get me? I'm a solutions person.
You connect to a lot of people.
I connect people. I'm a network. I'm a people person. You understand? So naturally, having good people skills and good relationship skills mixed with the music, like. I've maintained good relationships with people, you understand? So, and not only that, everybody that I meet, where I meet good people, like, enough people you meet, you know, you network with them, you know, and they take your number, fam. Some joke networking, you know, and you know, fam. They put your number in the phone and they never remember you, you know, fam. Like, you see, when I meet people, you know, fam, you see, when I meet a sick person, dog, I make sure that I nurture a relationship because people have different skills and different times, and you understand? So same thing like that nice thing.
You don't know when you're going to need it as well.
You don't know when you're going to need it, so just like that nice thing. We did that up there, that was dope. We did the popcorn video up there in the same location for the song Money Speaks.
I remember that.
Vibes Cartel, Do It If You're Bad. Then if you know that song, shot that in Digbeth, right outside Boogie Day's place. Skeng, Dan.
We got Drop Top.
Yeah, no, listen, Drop Top is my general, you get me, yo. We got Drop Top the Dan, you get me, because again, that's a whole nother interview again. You see me?
Yeah, so that's how it really mentioned him.
That's a whole nother interview again. That's like, we just did the history, you understand what I'm saying? We like, but big up the Dan Drop Top, you see me, and big up the whole movement, you see me, and yeah, man, you see, but enough different little things that we do, you know, it's in how the badness go down. You get me, like, people that for lock in, you get me, and see what go on, like, the artists them as well, Dobby Bing, you get me? Like, enough people know Dobby. Karshan.
We got Karshan.
Yeah. We have
man, make sure you look out for Karshan, you know.
Yeah, man, come on, bro, you get me?
Yo,
General Karshan, Bermuda. Like, the labels popping, Machino. People know Machino. Like,
my brethren Karshan, though.
Come on, man.
Mad.
Yeah, the amount of different sitting and different things, fam. We have to do a part 2, you get me?
Yeah,
different part 2 with you know me?
So saying that, yeah, before we close, what's the plans for the future, my bro?
Plans for the future?
Yeah, cause it's like we're closing now.
So right now we're on this Parlay thing. You get, I got a new brand. It's called Parlay. Yeah, it's a record label. This is what the song that you mentioned came out on Meaty.
Yeah.
That was our second release.
Yeah.
Almost like a soft launch. Yeah. And there we got loads of big music coming out. I don't want to talk thing too much. You get me, because you know.
Still.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
look out, innit?
We're working with some high quality artists. We're forwarding at this Birmingham music thing in an international way. Yeah. We're connecting the dots. We're doing it here. People know what my vibe is. People that see me out in the street, they know so that we party with the people. We do the music with the people. We're doing it in a local way, you get me, and an international way at the same time. So look out for Parlay as a brand. Look out for MBC. As I said already, myself, RTKAL, General Caution, Machino, Dobby Bing, Richie Culture, Bubblehead Honcho, All Bricks, Trillery Banks, Claret. Listen, Nino, the amount of artists and people that we got around here doing stuff and keeping it active, man. Just I say, just lock into the socials and you'll know what's popping, man.
That being said, this is the Reasoning Podcast. I am Rasnado.
I am
RTKAL.
That is it. Man, as I respect
C4, Alright Productions.
Yeah.
It's been a mad one still. Like as you see, there's no button, no mics and things today, but
you did hands free.
Yeah, we're now miss. Yeah, we're now miss. Yeah. Alright, then we're out. Boom. This is the reasoning, come have a reason. This is the reasoning, let's have a reason. This is the reasoning, come have a reason. This is the reasoning, let's have a reason.